Originally known as the Long Range Patrol, the Long Range Desert Group was formed in June 1940. Its purpose was to undertake scouting missions deep behind enemy lines, and while gathering intelligence was its primary function, they also engaged in combat operations. Warfighter World War II enters the North African front by offering several expansions with its core set, with the Long Range Desert Group leading the way. Warfighter World War II expansion number 69 includes 3-player, 3 non-player, and 2 squad soldiers, 3 squad vehicles, 1 weapon, 2 gear, and 2 skills, 3 mission and 4 objectives, 12 locations, 2 events, and 19 anti-vehicle cards. The soldiers represent the ground forces that conducted intelligence-gathering missions and raids behind enemy lines. Many of the soldiers were acclimated to the hot conditions of the desert, plus they tended to be quite resourceful in battle conditions. There are 3 squad vehicles that represent the transportation the Long Range Desert Group used throughout the North African campaign. The Scorpion is the only one with a cannon, while the Te Anu offers an impressive loadout of 50. The Bantam Willys Jeep entered service in 1942 and represents the U.S. involvement after Pearl Harbor. The weapon is the Vickers K-Gun, which requires a tripod that was not included in the expansion. Like the M1919, the Vickers offers impressive stats in terms of its hit potential, particularly at range 0. The 2 pieces of gear start with the Sun Compass that can recon 2 locations at the start of the first player turn, while the Kiwi Special can give 2 hardy counters to all soldiers in the same location once per mission. Long Haul, for vehicles only, adds 1 to the move entering location number 3 and beyond, while Desert Navigator permanently reduces the entrance costs of adjacent locations with Environ by 1 for all soldiers with a single action. If you have the Sun Compass, then no action is needed. The missions represent the typical challenges of the group, from raids with beat up to multiple objectives with piracy on the high seas. The objectives all include eliminating hostiles with attack on a water point, airfield, and desert convoy, while BIR, or BIR, brings all hostiles closer to the objective once it is activated. The locations represent the typical desert conditions faced by the group. While most are quite foreboding, the Oasis and Abandoned Well offer temporary relief for the soldiers. Events include wandering nomads, which might give you gear or alert the enemy in the next location to your presence, while the air recon may be enemy or friendly aircraft conducting a strafing run. And finally, anti-vehicle cards represent a formidable challenge if you should decide to use vehicles yourself on the raids. So successful was the Long Range Desert Group that after the Italians and Germans were driven out of North Africa in May of 1943, they continued their service on the Italian front, the Balkans, and even the Greek islands. They were disbanded in August of 1945. Thanks for watching. You can check out other videos in the Warfighter series, including Warfighter Fantasy, when you click on the Seek Out and Play YouTube channel. Plus, you can keep up with the latest news by visiting our Facebook and Twitter pages. And if you want to support the channel, we have a link to our Patreon page below. And I will see you next Wednesday.